Saturday night's main event is in the books, and I walked in with very low expectations for this show. I don't think it was booked very well at all. However, I did enjoy myself. Now, was this a groundbreaking, earth-shattering wrestling event? No, it wasn't. In fact, you could literally skip Saturday night's main event and not be affected. You could literally just not watch it, and it would not affect your enjoyment of the product as a whole. Nothing groundbreaking happened, but it was still okay. Sometimes you just want to sit down and watch wrestling on a Saturday, and that's what I got. Some pretty decent matches. Let's talk about it after we talk this belt on my shoulder. I'm giving it away at 30,000 subscribers. I'm going to give it away on my quest to quit my day job. All you got to do is comment below and subscribe to the channel, and you can win this belt right here. It's not a toy. It's a replica. All right, so, like I said, decent show. But my guys, my gals, they definitely did not win. No titles changed hand, and I really think they should have done at least one title hand changing because making it seem important. Saturday's main event just doesn't really seem that important in the grand scheme of things, and tonight kind of solidified that it's like you can skip this show and it doesn't matter because, like, okay, so let's just start off. We got the three-way. No, it's a six women matchup. It's Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair versus Jade Cargill and the baddies, Michin and B-FAB. Now, Jade Cargill does win, and that is the right call, especially if Jade is going to lose to Rhea Ripley at Clash in Paris. Jade will get the visual pin on Rhea Ripley. That's big for their feud. But the thing that I did not like about this match is Charlotte and Rhea, by the end of it, they were totally like best buds. I don't think these two should ever be friends, period. They should be like Rock and Austin. Yeah, they both might be good guys, or they might both be bad guys at certain points in their careers, but they will never like each other no matter what. At best, they will like begrudgingly team up with one another to beat up like Vince McMahon or a common enemy. But by the end, they were handshaking, they were doing moves together, they were holding Alexa Bliss. I did not like that at all. Like there should be an underlining tension between those two at all times. The other thing that was in play here was Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. It seems like we're really still teasing that matchup where we never got a real one-on-one between those two. It was always like if they were in the ring, one would tag out, or Jade would tag in when Charlotte was getting really beat down. So I do think that Jade is probably going to lose to Rhea Ripley and then enter into a program with Charlotte Flair. But when it's all said and done, we do have Jade Cargill and the baddies with the victory. More so probably for just setup of the Clash in Italy matchup. Another Clash in Italy matchup was announced tonight, and that's Ruca versus Becky Lynch, the best in the world. And that's not just me saying it, that's Sports Illustrated. And it's set up for an actual Intercontinental title defense in Clash in Italy. And that's because tonight they had a match, right? They had a match. It was a non-title match. And this is the match on the card that kind of actually did suck. This was not good. This was not good. We have Jessica Carr. You know how Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch are kind of like at odds with each other? The only reason why I think this happened is to further that feud, because during the fight, we have Becky Lynch. She first attacks Ruca, right? She attacks Ruca before the bell rings. And then Jessica Carr gets her off of her. Then Ruca cheap shots Becky, and then we start the match. That makes Becky mad because, well, Becky just got cheap shotted by Ruca, even though, Becky's the one who did it first. So then the match goes about like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, not long at all. We go for a soul snatcher. Becky pulls Jessica Carr, and Ruca pretty much awkwardly lands on Jessica Carr, and Becky gets out. At that point, Jessica disqualifies Becky and awards the match to Ruca. And it's like, this was already a non-title match, and it was only a 3-minute match. Like, why didn't we just do this on Raw? This literally could have been done on Raw instead of building up this like, ooh, we're going to see Ruca versus Becky Lynch type of thing going on. It was like 4 minutes. It was 4 minutes, and it ended in a really wonky disqualification. unless it's to further Becky and Jessica Carr's storyline, I don't see why they did it here. I really don't. I really don't see why they did it here. Becky will get mad because her gripe is that Sol Ruca is the one that hurt Jessica, not Becky, even though Becky's the one that pulled. And Jessica Carr is just like, yeah, I know what happened, so you're disqualified. Becky will go in the back, and she talks to Nick Aldis, because I guess Adam Pearce isn't there, and she's like, this is a travesty, and he's like, yeah, just got off the phone with Adam. Next week, you two clash in Italy. So this shouldn't have happened on a PLE. This was a storyline angle, should have happened tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, to be honest with you. But whatever, didn't ruin things. It was just weird. Then we do Penta versus Ethan Page. I like Penta. I do like Penta, but I'm liking Ethan Page way more. I really thought he was going to win. He cut a really good promo backstage. By the way, this is my one take, one shot Saturday night's main event review, where I don't do it, where I do it immediately following the show. That way you get my gut reaction. Can't steal other people's opinions. Maybe when I'm watching this, I'm watching someone live right now, and I got an earpiece in, and I'm just regurgitating everything they say. I'm not. All right. So, okay. Sorry. I don't know. This is why one takes are dangerous for me, because I just talk. I just say things. You want to hear about the moon landing? Is the Earth flat? Or is it round? Let's talk. Anyways, no, if the Earth was flat, then the cats would have knocked everything off the Earth by now. You know what I mean? Shut up, Chop. Okay, so Penta versus Ethan Page. Ethan Page cuts a really good promo about how this is the most important day in the Intercontinental Championship's history because he's about to win it. So, God, I love him. He did lose, though. He did lose. It was a good match. And I don't really, I'm not going to go play-by-play. He did try to cheat. He took off one turnbuckle. Ref tried to stop him, so he takes off the next turnbuckle, and shenanigans, boom. He ends up hitting the turnbuckle that he was supposed to hit Penta with, and Penta gets the win. I get it. I get why we let Penta win. It's not even the wrong call. It's just I wanted Ethan Page to win. This was just a moment in time where you had two correct winners. Penta winning, I could see why that's the right choice. Ethan Page winning, I could see that as the right choice. I would have chose Ethan Page, but I get why they went with Penta. It's not like, it's fine. It's fine. And then hopefully now we can go into a fatal four-way where we have Javon Evans, Rusev, Penta, and Ethan Page. And then maybe they could do what they did in NXT when Ethan Page won the NXT title. Like, he was kind of knocked out. He fell on top of somebody, and he just got the 1, 2, 3 in a fatal four-way or a triple threat or something. And then he wakes up, and he's like, what? I'm the champion? Just repeat that. I don't care. Repeat it. That would be kind of cool. And then Penta could be like, what do you mean I lost my belt? And then, so that was fine. Then we get the Irresistible Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax versus Brie Bella and Paige. And they do an interview like, oh, we're the underdogs. I'm like, in what world are you the underdogs? I get it. You're smaller than Lash Legend and Nia Jax. But Lash Legend just lost last night. You beat them at WrestleMania. Then a week later, you beat them again. You're not the underdogs. At the very least, you're just, there's a size advantage. And you got to say things like, oh, it's not the fight of the dog or the bark of the dog. It's the size of his heart or something like that. Whatever Rey Mysterio would say. Rey Mysterio. But yeah, so this match, it happens. I don't really got much to say. The Irresistible Force lose, and there was a cool sequence though. So it's in the corner. We have Paige go for the pin, and it's kind of like how Rhea Ripley pins women or Gunther pins men after a powerbomb. That's what Paige is doing to Nia, but then Brie puts her foot on like Paige's butt or Nia's butt to like kind of give them leverage, and then they win. Hopefully Nia and Lash are done at this point. It's like I don't hate them together. I think Nia was a really good mentor to Lash Legend, but the fact that they're just losing now, and it's just like, okay, just break them up. We're in Queen of the Ring season. We're in Money in the Bank season. Just break them up. Let them go their separate ways. They don't need to be a tag team anymore. They lost their belts. They've lost 2 rematches. I'm not interested in them anymore. That's what happens when you don't treat your team strong or you let them take loss after loss. And I'm not even saying it was the wrong thing to do. I'm just saying you did it. Break them up now. I want to see Lash go and get some W's on her own. And then we get to our final match. I was surprised that this was the final match. Logan Paul, Austin Theory versus the Street Profits. I would have swore it would have been Penta and Ethan Page, but it was this. And I'm thinking, okay, well, something big has to happen. Maybe Montez Ford is going to turn heel. Maybe Seth Rollins is going to come out. I'm thinking Joe Hendry could come out and start singing. And none of that happened. We have ourselves a match. It ran over. I think we went 9 minutes over because I figured this was going to be a 2-hour show. But whatever. And the really cool spot here was at one point Braun Breaker comes running out to do his thing. You know, he's running, he goes for the spear, and Montez Ford jumps it, leapfrogs, which cool, right? But then Angelo Dawkins like plows into him and makes him like, you know, go over to the announce table. That was a really good sequence right there. I highly recommend going to watch it. Now for the Street Profits and just in general, that was super cool. For Braun Breaker, it's just another example of Braun Breaker like looking like a chump. It made Braun Breaker look like a chump, but it looked awesome at the same time. And then Austin Theory, I am starting to see some character work out of Austin Theory. He's been very much a statue lately, or since pulling off the mask. And tonight, I started seeing him and Logan Paul kind of goofing around and stuff. And I'm starting to see some personality from Austin Theory, so I want to see more of that. Logan Paul has fully embraced his wrestling persona. He's doing a great job. Street Profits, great job. I wanted the Street Profits to win. Very disappointed that they lost. So it didn't make me hate the show, but it definitely left me kind of like eh. It left me kind of eh. And I really think they should have closed the show with Penta and Ethan Page, because then at least the face wins and you're kind of like, okay, cool. All right, cool. But like Logan Paul, the bad guy's winning and standing tall made you feel like, oh, life sucks. You know, the economy, inflation, gas prices are high. You know, it didn't ruin your life, but it ruined your mood. You know, it ruined your mood. So I would have changed the order of things. At the end, we do have Braun Breaker running down again and doing a couple spears on the Street Profits, and then they stand tall. That's probably because they're going to be like, where were you, Seth? Where were you, Seth? Why didn't you help us? I thought we were buds now. So that's probably why they did that. So overall, I'm gonna give this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chops on the chop-o-meter. I had very low expectations, so it's like it was almost impossible to meet those expectations. They were so low, so like that kind of helped make this a better event than it really probably was. But the fact that there was no title changes, just very non-important. You could skip it and it wouldn't matter. I'm giving it a 7. I did enjoy it, though. I did enjoy it. If you have nothing to do, like, yeah, sure, why not? Go check it out. But, you know, if you haven't watched The Boys season 5 yet, then go watch The Boys instead of this. It's a very adult show, though, so kids don't watch. Also, by the way, Tom, if you're watching, I need your mom to send me your address so I can send you something. Part of the 20,000 giveaway, I still need to do that, but that's a whole separate thing. So, boys, girls, I appreciate every single one of you, and I will we'll do hot takes, and then we'll do Monday Night Raw, and we'll just keep this going on the road to 30,000 subscribers. Boys, girls, see you later. Bye.